So what exactly is etiquette? Now, I'm not sure if I really know myself, but it seems to be social etiquette. It seems to be normalities and behaviors that are expected in a social setting when around other people. So, why would you uh, abide by British etiquette? Well, you want to minimize hostility towards you and promote good graces with your host or with people around you. All right, so you fit in with to society, and so you wouldn't get removed or kicked out of an establishment. So what it represents really is like a level of dignity, a level of maturity, not just for yourself but also for others as well. And it's considered the sort of thing that you might do in front of your grandmother or other people that you respect, that you should behave in front of. So, so that's kind of the reason why. All right, um, and you don't want to be regarded as a chav or a degenerate or somebody with low morals or standards. But we'll get back onto that in a moment. All right. So some examples and examples. I've got some notes in front of me, so I'll read them out. Not shouting out loud in public. That's a big one. Having your mouth closed whilst chewing. Most British people find that very, very annoying and irritating. Not reaching across the table to maybe grab the salt, like leaning over somebody else. Now, also there was said to put down your cutlery gently. Now, that's a bit over the top and a bit strange for my liking, but there we go. Okay, so what else we got? Not putting your feet up on the chairs, especially if you're on a bus or a train, something like that, and in somebody's house. Not lying down in public. It kind of lying down in public, unless you're at the beach or you're at a park. You don't want to be lying down in say a restaurant or a pub or anywhere else. It just looks really bad. Littering, dropping packaging on the floor whilst you're out and about. Spitting is very looked down upon in the UK. Also, if you have gas, you try not to do that loudly in a public place where other people, especially in an elevator or maybe a small shop, and especially not whilst eating food. One would ask to be excused and go to the bathroom to let out some gases, noisy gases, if that was the case. Also, putting your hand in front of your mouth when you cough or sneeze is really expected. Okay. Not showing too much flesh, whether this is inappropriate behavior in a workplace or whether you're in another social gathering, whether ladies are wearing a low-cut top or whether men are walking around with their t-shirts off. Men really don't have any of their top showing, any of their top flesh showing, unless they're at the beach or the park in hot weather. It's really kind of frowned upon. For some reason, it's not liked at all. Yet in other countries, it's not really taken any notice of. All right, okay. So I said about loud music. Really, people don't like loud music in the UK, like in a car park or just in the park in general. And often you'll find there's a lot of quietness in residential areas, sort of between 9 o'clock at night, right through to sort of 9 in the morning, because people generally have children they want to get to bed. They want their children to go to sleep. So it's not very polite if your neighbours are having a party on a weekday at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think we actually have a law like noise pollution after certain times. I think the real time is 11 o'clock at night, but generally most people are quiet between 9 o'clock at night and 9 a.m. in the morning. That's kind of like the expected. I don't know if you can see behind me there, I'm in a park and you can see some wildlife. Right, okay. So the list goes on and on. So not urinating in public. Many times you might see on a Friday or Saturday night around a city. There may be lots of people out drinking, and often a man will try to alleviate themselves and their bladder in a quiet alleyway or a corner of an old shop or something like that. And that's kind of an offence. If you get caught, you can get in trouble, but that does happen. Also, dog fouling. Dog fouling is needed to be picked up. That's not expected in the UK, not liked. So, a couple of youth going by on their electric bikes, having fun. So dogs poo. Minding your own beeswax. So that is in termed minding your own business and not getting involved with other people's discussions or arguments. So your own beeswax means business and not getting involved with it. People in the UK generally don't like confrontation or aggressive behaviour unless it's absolutely warranted. So that is really sort of looked down upon, acts of aggression. Now, when we come back to other cultures and other countries, that also comes up again. Very, very rare to see aggression in some of the Asian countries I've been in. All right, so we'll get on to that in a minute. Not asking direct questions as well. It's considered rude to ask a lady her age or how much somebody earns money or how much wealth they have. It's considered a bit rude and what's the word? Crass. Okay, well, let's go. A queue. British people love to queue up. And if you don't queue up properly or you jump the line, people get quite assertive and quite confrontational should you not be in the queue properly like everybody else. We've all waited our turn, so you should do the same. So queuing is a big thing in the UK. All right, blocking a walkway can make people irritated and is not really liked. And then the last couple is being late. British people kind of pride themselves on being on time, being punctual. It's kind of to do with a military standard, I guess. There's a lot of history of military standards within the UK. And then the last one I was going to mention is in regards to gestures with your hands. In a lot of countries, when young people are in photos, they go, hey, like a peace sign. But sometimes if they don't turn their hand around the other way and they have two fingers facing forward, that is considered a swear word, along with a single middle digit of your hand is considered a swear word, and you could get arrested for it if you did that, say, to the police, for example. All right, so moving on. Who or why would you reject these social norms, these etiquettes? Why would you not do them? Well, there's a few different situations where that may be the case. So some people are at odds with the social expectations, and that's okay, all right? You might think, well, personally, I don't like this social norm. I don't like this rule. And so it's often the case that occasionally some oddball, some strange uncle or odd person like myself will disagree with one or two of these etiquettes, these social norms. Also, you may find that there are other cultures that don't agree with all these social norms. So, for example, maybe travelers or the I get this wrong all the time, Romanian gypsy traveller. Now, I don't want to offend anybody, and I hope I've said that right, but they have a different way of living their life, and they're accountable to themselves and their community, and that's their choice, and I give them the respect that they live and die by their culture and their sword. Other people that may not go along with these etiquettes, maybe individuals with mental health issues, or young teenagers being rebellious and rambunctious and a little bit crazy. You know what youngsters can be like in many cultures. So most people generally keep to these etiquettes and these norms, apart from those that I just mentioned. So what about other countries and other cultures? What I've observed from my time in Asia, for example, is, especially in Cambodia, was not putting your hand on somebody else's head is considered very rude and disrespectful. Or putting your hands on an elder's shoulders is also disrespectful and a faux pas, bad social etiquette. All right, what else we got? In Asia, nudity is really frowned upon and frolicking. So there's been occasion in the past where there's been a crazy Western party in a hotel and a swimming pool, and there's been some nudity. Then that establishment would get shut down and investigated, and people would be arrested. Also, if you go into a temple, it's respectful to one, take off your shoes, and also to have your shoulders and your knees covered for ladies. Well, I think this is for everybody, but especially for ladies. Also, not talking negatively towards the CPP, Cambodian People's Party, or Hung Sen. He's kind of like the big man there, the main boss. So those things are frowned upon. Also, when you're meeting another person, often you would bow and you'd put two hands together and you'd bow down, preferably as low as the other person has to you. And it's kind of like the same thing when taking and receiving money is done with two hands, almost in a bowing gesture as well. That's a polite thing to do. All right, what else we got? What do we know about your... I can't remember that. All right, so what other cultures have you visited and countries that you visited where you've had to learn and be aware of some of these cultural differences, some of these etiquettes, some of these things that are expected? Be interesting to find out about what you think about your country. What things are not acceptable in your country, such as behaviours. I'd be interested to find out. All right, that's it for me on this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye bye for now.